Up, what up, what up? Welcome to another episode of the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric. Every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m., catch us on a Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to talk about all things wrestling, all good things wrestling, of course. So, let's get started. Well, first and foremost, all you fans out there, all you Florida Panther fans out there, congratulations, you have just won the Stanley Cup. So, round of applause. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but round of applause, way to go. It's their first time in franchise history. So honestly, whenever that kind of happens, it's like one of those things where it's like, you know what? You can't help but to like kind of, like tip your hat to them. You know what I mean? Like, so you can't really complain too much. Also, today is a National Swim a Lap Day. I had no idea that was even a thing. So if you have a pool, or if you're going to go to your gym tonight after you get done listening to this badass podcast, go ahead and, do some strokes, bro. Do some strokes and, tag the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast. I'm just kidding. Moving on. Thank you for tuning in to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We honestly have the best podcasters in the world. We have a great show for you today lined up. We have our WWE Smackdown review. We're going to talk about our WWE Monday Night Raw preview that's happening right now. It actually airing on the East Coast, but I have not looked at a single shred of Instagram material, TikTok, Facebook, whatever they call it nowadays. I have not watched it. I haven't taped. I can't wait to see it. Obviously, hit up the chat. But if you're going to leave some good spoilers, make sure it's some pretty darn good spoilers in the chat. Would love to kind of hear it. Would love to get into like a little bit of debate. Would love to hear from you guys in terms of potential storylines. In terms of what you guys think is best for WWE. This is a wrestling podcast. The best thing about a wrestling podcast is that wrestling is, it's sports entertainment, yes, but it's also like, I don't know. I feel like wrestling fans, essentially, I feel like the moment you meet another wrestling fan, you automatically just have that there's no way to describe it. Like, it's so crazy. Like, I was at Disneyland. I took my kids to Disneyland, and I was wearing the Seth Rollins shirt, and some guy came out to me. He was like, "Dude, badass shirt." I looked at his shirt. He was wearing the Bullet Club shirt, and I was like, "Dude." Automatically, bam, mutual respect. So, wrestling fans, we're honestly, we're one of a kind. So we're also going to get into our wrestling power rankings. We're going to talk about the men's and women's all around professional wrestling. We're going to talk about the top 10 wrestlers in their respective divisions. And today's Monday. We have Memorial Monday. We're going to talk a little bit about my man. We're going to talk about Mike Lockwood. If you don't know him, he's Crash Holly. Obviously, we're going to talk about that today. But before we move on, I want to remind you guys to use the tips and donations link at the GSMCpodcast.net. We get a number of questions from viewers like you that come in during the show. So to ensure that your question gets read on air, I ask you guys to use the tips and donations link at the GSMCpodcast.net with your questions. Just put your questions up on top so I can see it. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Tell me some things about professional wrestling that, like I said, I do not want any spoilers, but if there's something out there that happened that needs to be learned and needs to be told, by all means, do it. Like, let's just do it. You know what I mean? This is wrestling. Don't be too shy. Don't think that if I'm, what do I chat? Oh, is it going to be smart? Is it going to be knowledgeable? Is it going to be something that someone's going to make fun of me? No. Honestly, this is wrestling. This is professional wrestling. We're going to talk. We're a family. So remember to hit up the GSMCpodcast.net. Shoot on your questions, comments, or concerns. So, guys, let's jump on into our first segment. We're going to talk about WWE Smackdown. So WWE Smackdown it was pretty good. It was pretty darn good. Obviously, it started with CM Punk coming out. I love CM Punk. I love the way he kind of came out and he addressed Drew McIntyre, and he also assessed the way, obviously it was the anniversary, July 17th, 2011, where he walked out, where he told the WWE Universe he wanted to walk out as WWE Champion. and that Drew McIntyre has, kind of, took in his ball and kind of went home, which I kind of get. I kind of like it how, CM Punk kind of made it personal. Later on in the show, you kind of see how that kind of ultimately reflects on that. But it was pretty good. It was pretty good. Then you saw Paul Heyman come out. Paul Heyman, the ultimate, like, I love Paul Heyman, especially now in this position where he does not want the young bloodline to kind of prosper here without Roman Reigns. So, and Paul Heyman comes out. He said, "Please get the hell out of here." And then CM Punk was like, "What? Like, what are you talking about, man?" And then, of course, lo and behold, you saw the tribal chief. Well, the tribal chief, Solo Sikoa, come out with the Tongans. They came out. And Paul Heyman, he looked CM Punk dead in the eye. He was like, "Take me with you." Like, I was kind of wondering. I was honestly kind of wondering because, in my opinion, I feel like Roman or The Rock aren't going to come back to WWE anytime soon. So I feel like Paul Heyman is going to be kicked out of the Young Bloodline because the only thing that's stopping the Young Bloodline from growing is Paul Heyman. So they obviously want to get rid of him. They get rid of him. He joins CM Punk. Obviously CM Punk was a Paul Heyman guy before. So, definitely think that's like in the midst of the future, if I had to say so myself. And Paul Heyman basically in front of Solo Sikoa, the Tungans, basically said that he wants to quit the bloodline. And I know that might be a little unsettling because, he said it right in front of them. He's like, "You know what? Honestly, take me with you. I don't want to be a part of this anymore. It's not Roman's clan anymore." Roman Reigns said, "CM Punk, do not touch CM Punk. He's untouchable right now. So do not, you don't want to mess with him. You don't want to mess with him. You don't want to start any bad promos. You don't want to create any kind of, bad juju in terms of that." Which is, which is kind of cool. I kind of like how how kind of Paul Heyman like keeps that kayfabe, and he just looks. Oh, if you see the look on his face, he honestly looks like he's 1,010% like scared of what's gonna happen next. So definitely got to respect Paul Heyman in terms of that. So, then you saw, of course, Solo Sikoa being called a bootleg. I think he said bootleg. Tribal Chief, and then you saw a bunch of fake Usos, and it got crazy. It got crazy. So Solo Sikoa and the Tungans go up there, and they want to beat the crap out of CM Punk, but out of nowhere comes with the twin baseball bats, Louisville Sluggers. You have the WWE Undisputed Champion Cody Rhodes come out making the save, which is I feel like it might be a little too soon. In my opinion, I thought it was going to be at least SummerSlam when when this new young bloodline actually challenged Cody Rhodes, but obviously we got a little faster than we anticipated. So yeah, then obviously you saw Cody Rhodes, obviously really frustrated, challenge Solo Sikoa, and kind of want him, kind of want to show him, be like, "I've beaten one tribal chief before." That was pretty cool. That was honestly, that's why you gotta love Cody Rhodes. A lot of people say that Cody Rhodes is a boring champion because he's more of a chaser than a title holder, but I feel like he's doing it really well. I feel like he's doing really well in WWE. That he is honestly kind of keeping the company afloat after the midst of Roman Reigns after so long. You kind of had Roman Reigns being forced down everybody's throat. Vince McMahon was kind of like, "You know what, love Roman Reigns, love Roman Reigns, love Roman Reigns," and people didn't like it. People hated it. And then the moment like Roman went heel, which was probably one of the best moves he could possibly do within his career. Um, so and then of course after that, after his year and a half, 1,316-day reign as the WWE Undisputed Champion, obviously they had to, prelude. They had to, to unleash the WWE World Heavyweight Championship because no one honestly could touch Roman Reigns besides Cody Rhodes, and it took him two Royal Rumbles to kind of do it. Two Royal Rumbles, two WrestleManias, and a crap load of Bloodline members to, kind of get in his head and kind of, try to make this story, his story, Cody Rhodes' story, something that's worth watching, and that's something that Cody Rhodes did really well. Obviously, you saw the fans go crazy. Once when The Rock was kind of confirmed to take his spot to fill in the head of the table, the fans on social media went nuts, and I think it's for the best. Honestly, I think it's for the best for Roman Reigns. I don't know. I just time only time only time only will tell. I don't think Roman's going to come back anytime soon. Honestly, that's my opinion. I want to see a Survivor Series like Bloodline match. That would be pretty awesome. But in all reality, that's going to take a lot of bookings. And obviously, Survivor Series is in November. So you kind of have, some wiggle room to kind of go along with that. But Survivor Series, and I feel like WrestleMania is going to be like one of the best. It's going to be one of the best. All right, moving on. So you have Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill in the pot in the back, hitting up a promo. Jade wants a rematch for her tag team titles, but like the look on Bianca Belair's face, like kind of tells it all. She kind of wants to get back into the singles competition. Obviously, she was looking forward to her match with Michin and Chelsea Green, which Chelsea Green ended up stealing it. I honestly really like that for Chelsea Green. Usually when she kind of reminds me of like when Seth Rollins kind of had the case, like you know what I mean. Like although Chelsea Green is not much of an established um an established main Carter in terms of women's wrestling, but I don't know, I just think it's good for her. I think it's honestly, like, this is gonna make every women's match on every pay-per-view worth watching, because it'd be like Chelsea Green's gonna come out and she's gonna have that flair that she brings in. So there's no doubt in my mind that if Chelsea Green wins this briefcase, it's gonna be pretty awesome. It's gonna be pretty awesome. Next, we saw Solo Sikoa tell Paul Heyman that he said that he has to do something. Obviously, you kind of saw Drew McIntyre out there attack CM Punk. You also saw the Tungans getting involved in the Kevin Owens, qualifier match. So I'm presuming that's kind of what he meant. Also, on the great, you saw the Grayson Waller effect. Johnny Gargano, once again, he, kind of reiterates to Austin Theory that he's using you, and I honestly feel like this is, a pretty good spot for Austin Theory to finally make it to like a babyface kind of, which I feel like he kind of deserves. He's been in the negative spotlight for too damn long. So, definitely think that DIY is trying to drive a wedge between Waller and Theory. Drew McIntyre backstage with a lifeless CM Punk on his back. He steals his bracelet, and he brings him out to show Chicago. This is this your champion? Kind of, I kind of like that for Drew. I thought that if he quits WWE Raw, he might find his home in SmackDown if Nick Aldis decides to sign him. So that could be something there. Could be something there. Next, we see Randy Orton fight Carmelo Hayes and Tama Tonga. This match was very, very good. Honestly, you kind of saw Randy Orton getting screwed over because, once again, you saw the Bloodline get involved. But honestly, I like Carmelo Hayes. Although, Carmelo Hayes he got recently drafted by WWE from WWE NXT. I like it. I like it. Like, just his, kind of his persona, just this kind of like in your face kind of mentality. I like that in terms of Carmelo Hayes. So, I think it's a perfect fit for him to be in the Money in the Bank match. The LA Knight addresses the WWE Universe that Logan Paul once again does not show up. And then, you see some bad juju going on. And then once again, you see Logan Paul come out making a surprise appearance, which I was kind of proud. I was kind of proud to see Logan Paul go out there and actually, kind of represent his title that he's been fighting for, like, basically ever since he made WWE. He said on social media, and according to Ringside News, that he feels like the United States Championship in WWE does not get defended that much, it more than it should, which is cool. I, you know, I came to that conclusion a long time ago. I, besides the fact that I think that WWE should offer a mid card title for the women's, like a women's intercontinental championship that gets defended, on both brands, like the WWE Women's World Tag Team titles. But Logan Paul's right. Like, why did you have to book Cody Rhodes versus Logan Paul at King of the Ring? Why couldn't you have someone like Bobby Lashley fight for the title? I know he was injured, but I'm just kind of using this as an example. So honestly, I agree with Logan Paul. I think that the United States Championship in WWE should get defended a lot more. Running out of time, let's move on with this segment. So you saw Kevin Owens, Waller, and also Andrade. Once again, the bloodline gets involved and attacks Kevin Owens before the match. Andrade moves on, so that's pretty awesome for Andrade. Cody Rhodes against Solo Sikoa. This match didn't even last more than like 8 minutes. Solo Sikoa. He tells before the match, he basically says that Roman's never coming back to the bloodline. And obviously, you saw Paul Heyman like completely like in shock, looking like he was gonna cry because that was kind of like his last hope. It was his last hope to like kind of restore order on this, kind of this faction that has gotten a lot of attention, a lot of success, and they're basically watching it burn down. Like so that definitely kind of crazy. Obviously, the Tungans once again interfere. Orton and Owens come out. It looks pretty dire for the bloodline, but finally, after all this time, you saw Jakob Fatu make his debut in the WWE, and he splashed Cody Rhodes on the announce table. Cody Rhodes, essentially, according to kayfabe, that he has two broken ribs. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be kind of cool to see what kind of goes on, from that. So yeah, we're going to move on to our next segment, which is WWE Monday Night Raw preview. We're going to talk about it all right here. Like I said, I have not, seen any shred of social media. So, we're going to dive into this together. So, hey, do not go anywhere.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits. I'm losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
And we are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time, always here to talk about professional wrestling, Ring of Honor, TNA, sometimes the NWA. I'm trying to get more into like the independent kind of circuits here, like, the All-Pro Wrestling, also the Major League Wrestling, New Japan Professional Wrestling. As time progresses, I try to, kind of dabble on here and there. So, recently, if you guys are just joining us, we talked about WWE Friday Night Smackdown review, and now we're going to get into our WWE Monday Night Raw preview. But before we move on, I want to remind you guys to use the tips and donations link at the GSMCpodcast.net. We get a number of questions from viewers like you that come in during the show. So to ensure that your question gets read on air, I ask you guys to use the GSMCpodcast.net link and just, post your questions. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Tell me what you think is going to happen in wrestling. Tell me where you think this storyline with Cody Rhodes and the Bloodline is headed. So, obviously the show is good. The show's good, but it's a hell of a lot better with audience engagement. Give me a shout out of where you're listening from. Tell me, just anything you want. Tell me anything you want in terms of professional wrestling. There's no judgment. There's no, use of, second guessing yourself. If you have a thought about wrestling, post it in the chat. There's no right or wrong answers, and it'll make the show a lot better. We're going to talk about it. We will talk about it. So, the link is at the GSMC podcast.net. So let's jump into Monday Night Raw. WWE Monday Night Raw is live tonight. Obviously not live because, I'm going to watch it as soon as I get done with this. Uh, it's going to be live in Indianapolis, Indiana. You saw the CEO, Triple H, say that they're going to do a lot more events. Obviously, they made a partnership with the sports community in Indiana. You're going to see like Royal Rumble. You're going to see Survivor Series. You're going to see WrestleMania. I think next year, it's going to take place all in Indianapolis. Like, it's crazy. Obviously, the form of the partnership, obviously, it's probably best for the company, I think in terms of funding and stuff like that, all you need is just, a little more money it doesn't hurt. Doesn't hurt a body. So, anyways. So Monday Night Raw tonight is going to be awesome. There's going to be a Money in the Bank qualifying match. You're going to see Braun Strowman against Chad Gable against Bronson Reed. Obviously, you see people like Jey Uso, Carmelo Hayes, and Andrade already have already qualified for the match. Strowman is a former Money in the Bank winner. He won in 2018. So that, obviously I didn't really think that Strowman was going to win to begin with, but my prediction would probably be Chad Gable winning. You kind of need that, like that, or Bronson Reed. Honestly, you can make a pretty good, compelling case for Bronson Reed to be in the Money in the Bank, ladder match. But usually when it comes to WWE, you have ladder matches. You kind of want people who, could jump off the ladder in any kind of moment. And I'm not saying that Bronson Reed isn't that guy. But Chad Gable, he just has so much, he just has so much anger, so much aggression, so much determination ever since Alpha Academy, like, basically left him. So that's a storyline within itself. But with him being a possible Money in the Bank winner, it could be huge. It could possibly be huge. So, honestly, and I anticipate Chad Gable to win that. Next, we have a Money in the Bank qualifier in the women's. We have Shayna Baszler against Lyra Valkyria and Kairi Sane. Obviously, you have the two people already, already in the match. You have Io Sky and Chelsea Green, which I think is awesome for her. Honestly, I think I would like to see her have the briefcase. I think it'd be pretty badass. But you see unfinished business. You have unfinished business between Shayna Baszler and Kairi Sane, who fought in NXT multiple times for the WWE Women's NXT World Championship. You also had them in the final of 2017 Mae Young Classic. And Lyra Valkyria has never fought Shayna Baszler, so that should be pretty badass. Lyra Valkyria has a 2-0 record against Kairi Sane. Which of these former WWE NXT Women's Champions will will stamp their spot for Money in the Bank coming up on June 7th. I think it's June 7th. Don't quote me on that. But it's going to be good. Honestly, out of all these women, to be honest, my prediction would probably be, oh man, like, I think Shayna should win. I think Shayna Baszler should win, but Lyra Valkyria, ever since she's been drafted to WWE Monday Night Raw, she's just been on fire. She's been on fire. Kairi Sane isn't going to win because I feel like Io Sky is kind of already there for damage control. I don't know how far WWE is going to push Shayna Baszler and, Zoe Starks and this Sonya Deville kind of idea here. But honestly, I think Yeshua is Lyra Valkyria. She's very, she's very adamant. She's very incredible. She could, she's unpredictable. Like, she can jump off the ladder at any time. Honestly, I would feel like she would be the best bet for WWE to kind of make this ladder match like a hell of a lot better. So, honestly, I like Lyra Valkyria in this match. Next, we see Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston's going to fight against Karrion Kross. Kross wants Woods so bad in the Final Testament. And last week, you saw on Monday Night Raw, you saw Kofi Kingston cut off his man, Xavier Woods. Are we heading for a New Day breakup? It's been so long. It's been so damn long that these guys have been together. Obviously, without Big E, it's a different kind of New Day. But I don't know if maybe it's hard for me to say goodbye. Maybe it's hard for me to say goodbye because I feel like these guys have been together for so long. Maybe that could be entertaining in terms of the shock factor. But something that I do not want WWE to do is to sacrifice and kind of want that shock factor that'll be absolutely crazy and phenomenal for about maybe 1 to 2 weeks. And then eventually you kind of have these two guys starting off their singles career and it's absolute like ass. Like it doesn't really like work out for Kofi. Obviously, you kind of had Kofi Kingston go out there. He was, Kofi Media, which was awesome. Then you had King Woods. Xavier Woods never has really been on the WWE main card, but this is huge. If you're deciding to break them up, okay, do it. But you got to do it right. You got to do it right because if you don't, then it's going to be all bad. It's going to be all bad. Then they're going to have this reunion where they forgive each other, and the fans are going to know it's kind of BS. We're going to be like, dude, that's bullshit. Like, that's so stupid. Like, why even do it to begin with? So this is going to be very delicate. In my opinion, if I would see anybody kind of stabbing somebody in the back, I wouldn't even think it's Xavier Woods. I would never think it's Xavier Woods. I would probably think it would be Kofi. I would see Kofi Kingston. You can see Xavier Woods obviously in his corner from time to time throughout WWE history, throughout their run as the New Day tag team titles. I would probably best see Kofi turning his back on Xavier more than vice versa. I feel like that would be better. But that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. Because you have Karrion Kross out there, and then you have Kofi Kingston. I feel like that New Day jealousy be like, why did you want Xavier Woods? Do you think he's more talented than I am? Do you think he would, he would be more of he'd be more of a, asset to the Final Testament? Kofi Kingston was once a WWE champion. Xavier Woods never really got a taste of singles competition. Never really got a, besides the King of the Ring, he never really had a taste of like singles competition gold. And I think if you're trying to make it into a storyline, you would have that kind of bottle up within Kofi Kingston to be like, you know what? I have been a champion before. Karrion, if you fully invest and help me out to get to the top, I have no problem leaving Xavier Woods behind. I feel like it would be better for WWE and the New Day if Kofi Kingston's the one to turn his back on Xavier Woods, because I think that Kofi Kingston has been around the WWE for so long. I would say maybe 6 to 8 years longer than Xavier Woods. Don't quote me on that. So obviously he still has retribution. Obviously he still wants to be, he's had a taste of singles career. He was Intercontinental Champion when he was, had, his Jamaican kind of get up. And then he joined the New Day. They got a bunch of tag team title runs. I honestly don't see the New Day winning any tag team titles anytime soon. I think it's more or less perfect for Kofi Kingston to find a way into the Final Testament. If I had to see them break up, that's, obviously that's my opinion. If you have something different, if you want to let me know your thoughts and opinions, hit it up in the chat. More than willing to love, some things that you guys have to say about this. So, yeah. And, kind of wrapping things up here, we also have Braun Breaker going against Ludwig Kaiser. We have a WWE Women's Tag Team Title championship match between Alba Fire, Isla Dawn, and also, against Kaden Carter and Katana Chance. And something to look out for. You're going to have Drew McIntyre live on Monday Night Raw. It's been speculated that he's going to make an appearance. What's going to happen with Uncle Howdy? Obviously, you had that eerie horror movie film kind of debut by Bo Dallas and Uncle Wyatt in Uncle Howdy with the White Six. What's going to happen with Alpha Academy? Alpha Academy, they're looking for a new direction. They need a leader. Will Otis step up and be that leader? Will he ultimately find someone to kind of replace him to be his right-hand man? Only time will tell. And lastly, we're going to have the Judgment Day drama. Once again, Liv Morgan, Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor, Damian Priest. You're going to see JD McDonough. It's, the time is ticking. Time is running out on this Judgment Day faction. So it's going to be interesting to find out, how they decide to break them up. And and all that jazz. So yeah. Well, guys, do not go anywhere. We're gonna jump on into our next segment, which is women's wrestling power rankings. We're gonna talk about Eric's top 10 wrestlers in professional wrestling, of course, the women's division first. So hey, do not go anywhere.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to pay for it? GSMC Sports Network is available on YouTube. Just search GSMC Sports Network. Get your fix of daily sports talk shows on YouTube, absolutely free. NFL, college football, NBA, MLB, MMA, UFC, fantasy football, and so much more. GSMC Sports Network has shows running all day long, with new sports shows starting every 2 hours. Just like on your favorite cable sports channel, except GSMC Sports Network is absolutely free. Just search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube to catch one of your new favorite shows, like the GSMC College Football Podcast, Chip Shot Football Podcast, Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, GSMC Basketball Podcast, and so many more. Check it out for yourself. GSMC Sports Network, now available on YouTube absolutely free. Search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube right now.
All right. Welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host here, Eric Rodriguez, Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern time. We talk, everything professional wrestling, potential storylines, backstage, action that's happening inside and outside of the ring. So you can always count on me, your boy E, always bringing, filling you into the loop. Obviously, I know times are lives are busy. So if you have an hour to dedicate your time to professional wrestling, I'm going to give you guys the hottest news, basically, all things professional wrestling. So definitely love that. But before I move on any further, I want to remind you guys to use the tips and donations link at the gsmcpodcast.net. Shoot me your questions, comments, and concerns. Give me your projected storylines in terms of WWE. Do you think Sami Zayn will come out Intercontinental Champion, leaving Money in the Bank? Obviously, hit up the chat. Don't be too shy. Hit up the chat. But honestly, guys, your opinion means a lot to us. It really does help the show. Here at the GSMC Sports Network, we do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity. Remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show, and also follow the show, also the network, the GSMC Sports Network. And once again, the link is at the gsmcpodcast.net. So, guys, let's go ahead and jump on into this. Our women's wrestling power rankings. Let's do this. Who will be number one? Will your favorite wrestler be number one? Who knows? If you have any, suggestions, let me know. At number 10, I have Athena, the Ring of Honor, Women's World Heavyweight Champion, is number 10. She kind of, I think that her booking could be better. I know that Ring of Honor has recently kind of merged with All Elite Wrestling, so I'm anticipating like more people coming after her title, but it's kind of crazy. I want to see her in action more. I do. She's a great wrestler. Obviously, I know her from WWE. She was Ember Moon from NXT. Had so much success there. Obviously, didn't really work out due to poor booking, poor creative choices by WWE. But Athena's she's a goddess. She's the goddess of wrestling. She's amazing, and I just want to see better bookings. In terms of her would be pretty awesome. At number 9, I got Billy Starks. Back to back, you got MIT. Billy Starks is the Ring of Honor Women's World Television Champion. She's done really, really well for herself ever since she kind of had it was in that tournament. Where I think she defeated Queen Aminata. I think it was Queen Aminata. But definitely love seeing her in this position. Definitely love seeing her on TV more because I feel like she's not the heel. She's not the heel, although she is kind of aligned with the Ring of Honor World Women's Champion, Ember Moon or Athena. But I like her. I feel like she's gonna do great. Honestly, it'd be kind of cool to kind of see her challenge her fellow MIT kind of member. So I don't know. Only time will tell. Only time will tell. All right, at number 8, I got Jade Cargill. I have Jade on this list. I don't have Bianca because Bianca recently lost her chance to show up at the Money in the Bank match. At a Money in the Bank. It's kind of crazy how that kind of works out. But of course, Chelsea Green, the ultimate opportunistic kind of woman here. Kind of reminds me of a female version of like Edge. If he had like, if they're trying to base a run off of, any WWE superstar, I feel like Chelsea Green would be perfect as like that Edge kind of material. But also Jade, they're not WWE Tag Team Champions anymore. So she's going to assert herself finally into WWE singles competition. And I have nothing but high hopes. I feel like she's going to win. I think next week she's actually in the Money in the Bank qualifier. I think she's gonna win. I think she's gonna win. You're gonna see Bianca Belair, try to be there, try to be supportive for her tag team teammate, for her former fellow WWE World Women's Tag Team title holder. But I feel like Bianca Belair is kind of heading for. I feel like she's kind of heading for a heel. It'd be kind of perfect for her to be heel because Jade is like still kind of new to the company, so WWE don't really know how Jade Cargill is. I feel like if she does go heel, be like, okay, that kind of figures. She came from AEW. She doesn't have really like any connection to the WWE universe, fans or backstage or fellow, peers. So I think it's perfect. I think it'd be kind of perfect to kind of have Bianca turn on Jade. I see Jade. I don't know if I want to see her holding the briefcase, but I think I kind of see. I loved how I love how she makes it back into the into singles competition here. So yeah. All right, at number 7 we have Willow of Nightingale, the former New Japan Professional Wrestling Women's Strong Champion, the former AEW TBS Champion. She's been cutting a lot of good promos. Obviously, she's kind of heading toward her second win from the Owen Hart Cup in terms of the women's division and for a chance to challenge the champion at All In. I like Willow. I feel like she would be a perfect match for Toni Storm. Obviously, next week you're going to see her fight against Chris Statlander. It's big. It's going to be big. Honestly, I feel like Willow deserves a lot in terms of like professional wrestling booking. She's a champion. More or less, she's kind of a role model. And I'm not trying to steal that away from Bailey, like, oh, the role model, you know what I mean? But I don't know. I just feel like she does really, really well in the limelight. And right now, she's kind of taking a step back. So, kind of interesting. At number 6, I got Mercedes Moné. Mercedes Moné so far has proved herself to be a fighting champion, which is something that I was kind of worried about due to the fact that it took so long for AEW to finally bring her into the ring. But no, she's good. She's fighting Stephanie McCure over, against at AEW Forbidden Door. So I don't really see Mercedes Moné losing this championship, especially after you kind of beat Willow of Nightingale so soon, in my opinion. But I like Mercedes. I do like her. She does kind of have the tendency to cut the same promo over and over again. But she's on this list. She's number 6. So I have nothing, throwing flowers at Mercedes Moné. All right, number 5, I got the WWE Women's Champion, Bayley. Bayley, so far, you gotta love Bayley. I love Bayley because, two things. I love, first and foremost, you kind of have her representing the brand that you don't really have Rhea Ripley anymore. And I know that Rhea Ripley's on Monday Night Raw, but I'm just talking in terms of the division itself. You don't have Rhea Ripley anymore. You don't have Becky Lynch. You don't have Charlotte Flair. So the only kind of veteran that you kind of have on your side here is Bayley. And Bayley, I don't think she's a transitional champion or like a bridge champion. I don't know how you guys like to kind of refer it to. But is she going to lose to Nia Jax at SummerSlam? I think so. But Bayley can just pull a win out of nowhere. The fans love her. Obviously, I've, kind of advocated for her to be more or less in the babyface. I didn't like her as a heel. Now that she is full babyface, she is the WWE Women's Champion. I don't think she's going to go anywhere soon. And I know a lot of people, you people are going to be like, Eric, you might be drinking the Bayley Kool-Aid too much. Nia Jax is going to beat her at SummerSlam. And by all means, I agree with that. And I kind of thought that to myself. But honestly, I don't see it. I feel like for the WWE Women's Championship to kind of be on like a nice, like kind of like, kind of steeple to make it prestigious, you have to have Haley. You kind of have to have Bailey hold the belt. You have to, definitely. At number 4, of course, I have the WWE NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez. Roxanne Perez, she's overcome every single obstacle in her way in terms of WWE NXT. You saw her win the match when she tag teamed with Lola Vice last Tuesday, and then she, sent a message out to Lola, be like, look, like, don't get too comfortable, girl. We're gonna fight. And then Lola was kind of like, she attacked her. She's like, why do you, like, what the hell? Like, why do you have to do that? And then Roxanne Perez, she's all business. She's all business. Definitely a good spot. Definitely a great way to kind of have the WWE NXT Women's Champion should kind of be represented here. Excuse me, with Roxanne Perez. So definitely throwing flowers at Roxanne Perez. At number 3, I got Jordynne Grace. Jordynne Grace has been my number 1 for about a month now. But I feel like she's kind of made it down to number 3 because you don't really have anybody on TNA to ultimately fight her. Like, I don't even know if that, I don't even know if that makes sense. But Jordynne Grace, she's, you had Tatum Paxley come from WWE NXT, which I think WWE and TNA kind of botched in that. I wish there was more of a, a competitor to kind of, kind of help Jordynne Grace's streak as TNA Knockouts champion, kind of be a little more, be a little more dominant. But I don't know. She lost against Roxanne Perez, given that it was Ash by Elegance and also Tatum Paxley, kind of getting involved there. But I feel like she's not declining. She's not declining. She will always be this dominant champion. And it's to the point where, like, sometimes, like, I don't want to say a boring champion. She's not a boring champion. She, you just kind of know that she's going to win. And sometimes, like, that can take the fun out of, any professional wrestling talk. If you're talking about someone that's be like, oh, they're going to win anyway, so why does it even matter? Like, you're just like, oh, you're right. All right, moving on to our last 2. At number 2, I got Nia Jax. Like I said before, I don't know how far Nia Jax is going to go, but I know her future is really, really bright. She's the queen of the ring. I'm 50-50 right now with her beating Bayley. Will she represent the WWE Women's Championship like Bayley has? It's going to be hard to get the championship offered. That's the reason why I'm kind of thinking to myself that maybe they won't give it a shot. Although I feel like after so much time in WWE, Nia Jax damn well deserves it. But, obviously you kind of have to book matches that are kind of realistic here. I don't think anybody could really defeat Nia Jax besides maybe like someone like Becky Lynch or Charlotte Flair or Bianca Belair or Jade Cargill. But if that's the kind of way you want your champion to kind of shape the industry, to shape the women's division, by all means do it. Why not? Give it a shot. Like, who knows? Maybe I could be talking out of my arse at this point. At number 1, of course, back-to-back, I have Toni Storm, the timeless Toni Storm on AEW, making the AEW women's division so much fun. Making it so much fun to watch. You have Mariah May, and of course you have Mina Shirakawa that are going to, they're going to have their, they're going to have their hash out at AEW Forbidden Door. But, I gotta love Toni Storm. Gotta love her promos. The best thing about Toni Storm is her promos, and I'm not, obviously it's not an indictment of her at all, but her promos, also the way she holds herself up and the way she fights and just like her persona, like you can't break that character. You can't break the way Toni Storm is because it's magic. It's magic. Well, guys, do not go anywhere. Our next segment, we're going to jump. We did the women's power rankings, and now we're going to do the men's. So, hey, do not go absolutely anywhere. And welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern time. I have all your cool wrestling factoids, all your cool wrestling storylines. So make sure you tune into the GSMC Sports Network. Superman, punch that like and subscribe button and follow the show and also the network at the GSMC Sports Network. Hit up that tips and donations link at the gsmcpodcast.net. And, rapidly running out of time as always. So let's move on into our men's power rankings. We're going to see how this all kind of unfolds here. All right, at number 10, I know this might seem like kind of like a fanboy kind of thing, but I love Uncle Howdy. I feel like the way he kind of made his debut in WWE, it was perfect. It was eerie. It was evil. It was very horror filmish. Felt like I was watching an episode of not episode. I feel like I was watching like a trailer to like the new Jeepers Creepers or to your favorite, horror movie kind of slasher film. And the way he came out, the White Six. They're going to do wonders. They've gotten a lot of scrutiny, a lot of hate online from people like Eric Bischoff, Vince Russo, also good old JR saying that this is not going to work. So I feel like with just that doubt already kind of lingering above the creative ideas of Triple H, Paul Levesque, and also The Rock, because I feel like The Rock, although, he's been the main part of TKO as a chairman, he knows a lot of people in the Hollywood kind of industry. There's no doubt in my mind. Maybe he kind of, got a couple of opinions from a couple of horror movie directors in the Hollywood scene. Hey, how can we make this guy, Uncle Howdy, into one of the most feared, respected, but also liked superstars on the WWE roster? And honestly, people loved him. People loved him. People loved the way he came out. Although you did see kind of Chad Gable in the back, and you also saw like this guy with like blood splatter. Like it seemed a little surreal. But honestly, at number 10, I have high hopes for Uncle Howdy. All right, so moving on. We at number 9, of course, I have my man Mark Briscoe, the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion. I think he might be a spot down only because he hasn't really been defending his championship at all, really, on Ring of Honor. You've kind of seen him more or less on AEW, in those 8-man tag team match, which is freaking awesome because Kyle O'Reilly makes like basically it worthwhile. It's like I will follow that man anywhere. Just the way he kind of cuts his promos. That's why you love Mark Briscoe. That's why he's so electric. That's why he's a champion. He's 1,010% a champion. He's honestly, in my opinion, has moved up from one of those champions that was like, you know what, Ring of Honor, yeah, it's all right, to like, dude, I want to watch this guy fight every single night if I had the chance. And that's something that, you got to respect about Mark Briscoe. So, yeah. At number 8, I have Trick Williams. I don't know if I said number 8. I think number 9. I think I said. At number 8, you have Trick Williams. Trick Williams is, been a fighting champion. He's been, absolutely killing it in terms of, WWE NXT. You kind of have him against Ethan Page. He can go against Javon Evans. He can go against Gallus, but you can't slow down this guy. You can't slow down Trick Williams. I feel like ultimately this is just like a huge push for his future within the WWE NXT. Obviously, on during the 25-man battle royal, you had Frankie Kazarian debut from TNA. You also saw Ethan Page not really lose the match, not really get eliminated. You saw Ethan Page defeat Javon Evans, so this might turn out to be like Javon Evans is hurt. He's hurt. Like he has a lot of problems within his abdominal area. Would be not shocking to have Javon Evans not medically cleared to fight against Trick Williams, the WWE NXT World Heavyweight Champion, at Heatwave, thus creating an open spot for Ethan Page. So, definitely think that's, kind of like in the future, if I had, if I was putting on my hat, can predict the future. All right, at number 7, I have Moose. Moose, the TNA World Heavyweight Champion, continues to dominate. This guy can't lose with the help of the system. Of course, recently kind of had Dirty Dango help him out. But, he's defeated the best. He's defeated Nick Nemeth. He's defeated Matt Hardy. And although the Hardy brothers did get the best of him, and it's speculated that Jeff Hardy might be the next one to challenge Moose. But this guy's respected. This guy's respected. Definitely one of the best superstars on the TNA roster. So you gotta, gotta throw a little bit of respect and some flowers over there. At number 6 on the list, I have Logan Paul. Logan Paul has honestly earned my respect a crap ton. Recently he's been in and out of WWE because obviously he has his personal brand to kind of think about and kind of dictate and kind of run because it's this, it's his business. You know what I mean? Whatever happens after the WWE, this is all basically what you have. So you can't really fault him so much for not fully putting in his attention on WWE. But his attention is in on WWE. That's something that a lot of people like. Oh, this guy's a fake wrestler. Him and his brother, like they're YouTubers. So what? So what if they're on YouTube? So what if they, basically got to where they were from self, representation, from self, public relations, from self, bookings, from self, basically building up your brand on your own. And I feel like a lot of the haters from Logan Paul are people from the, that are like, I feel like I could have did that, but I never really, like, what I mean? Like, it's jealousy. I feel like it's mostly envy, but of course, that's my opinion, 1010%. But Logan Paul, I love him as a WWE United States champion. Obviously, you had him say in an interview that he feels like the United States Championship should be defended more, and that's legible, that's legitimate, that's something that WWE fans would love. So, you gotta respect Logan Paul. Like, gotta respect the YouTuber. At number 5, I have Kyle Fletcher. Kyle Fletcher, you saw Will Ospreay kind of on Dynamite, kind of having a little dispute, kind of having a little bit, kind of disregarding the Don Callis family. I feel like his successor is not going to be Roosh. It's not going to be Roosh. I feel like his successor will be Kyle Fletcher. Obviously, Will Ospreay was the former Ring of Honor World Television Champion. Kyle Fletcher has been absolutely dominant. There's no doubt in my mind he's going to fight Mark Briscoe, of course, in the future. But Kyle Fletcher, he has a very, very bright future ahead of him. Very, very bright. And with the Don Callis family needing a little bit of direction, with Will Ospreay is probably going to be excommunicated from the gang. I feel like Kyle Fletcher is going to be that perfect person. But that, of course, once again, that's just me. At number 4, I got Damian Priest. Damian Priest, I love Damian Priest, but once again, he still haven't really won any match by himself without the Judgment Day. So, it's I feel like his title reign, I feel like my respect for Damian Priest, much like I feel like the WWE universe's respect for Damian Priest is kind of like to be continued or to be announced, to be TBA, because every single match he's fought, it's shown, in situations where he's going to lose. He's going to lose. And then obviously you have someone like Finn Balor get involved, Carlito, and, obviously then he retains his championship. So I'm not fully committed to Damian Priest. He's number 4 on my list, but yeah, honestly, he might be on a decline. At number 3, I got Swerve Usos. Swerves out. I got Swerve Strickland. The AEW World Heavyweight Champion has proved time and time again that he belongs where he is, that he's fought for every single moment, that he deserved, he deserved to beat Samoa Joe. He deserves all these good bookings. I want to see him defeat Will Ospreay to finally put that nail in the coffin as one of the people that, as one of the guys from the company that has the most respect, that, he's known nationwide, screw that. He's known worldwide, Will Ospreay, as one of the top talents in professional wrestling. I feel like to establish this Swerve Strickland character, you need him to beat Will Ospreay. But the way it's kind of turning out, Will Ospreay will probably lose at Forbidden Door. Obviously, this is my projection. We'll probably lose at Forbidden Door thanks to an interference from the Don Callis family. So, honestly, that's kind of the way I'm going. At number 2, I got Cody Rhodes, the WWE Champion. Not really much. Scratch that. I got Will Ospreay. We just got done talking about Will, the AEW International Champion. Bright future. I don't know how well he will hold the AEW World Heavyweight Championship, essentially, and eventually. But I just don't think it's now. I don't think it's now. Will Ospreay is impressive as hell. One of the superstars I kind of looked at him. He was like, dude, who the hell is this guy talking to like Triple H? Like, who the hell is this guy? This guy backs up everything with his matches. Dave Meltzer, been around the WWE for a long time, professional wrestling. This guy has like 30 plus matches, like match of the year. So if you're in a match with Will Ospreay, automatically it's a huge, kind of step up. And lastly, of course, I have Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes once again proves why he's the man. He recently got sent through a table and has 2 broken ribs. I don't know if it's kayfabe or not, but I don't really think he's going to relinquish the title anytime soon. I don't think that's really much of a, you know, maybe. No, I'm just kidding. I don't see that happening at all, actually. But I don't know. He's great. He's great. There's not really much to say. But, Cody Rhodes is single-handedly carrying WWE on his back. So, yeah. All right, guys, our 5th and final segment, we're going to talk about my Memorial Monday. We're going to talk about Crash Holly. Without further ado, we're going to jump on into it. So, hey, do not go anywhere.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
All right. Welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern time, talking about wrestling every night. Remember to shoot me your chat. Tell me what you think about wrestling. Tell me what you think, is going to happen on Raw. Let me know, what you think is best for Cody Rhodes. Let me know who you think will dethrone Swerve Strickland on AEW. So, without further ado, let's jump on into our 5th and final segment. Our Monday Memorial, we're going to talk about my man, Crash Holly. So, let's go ahead and do it. So, guys, Crash Holly, his original name was actually Michael John Lockwood. He was born August 25th, 1971. A WWE / WWF. He debuted as Crash Holly in 1999 to 2003. He debuted in wrestling in itself in 1989. He tag teamed with, of course, his kayfabe cousin, Hardcore Holly, who I feel like they have. Well, no, I know Crash. Crash actually, in his wife's, ex-wife, because, she wanted a divorce. But in his ex-wife's, hometown in North Carolina, I believe there was a Crash Holly wrestling school. Also, you have, Hardcore Holly running scenes, definitely been with the WWE organization for amazingly really, really long. The Alabama Man, the Alabama Slam. Hardcore Holly was amazing. I liked Hardcore Holly. He was like that guy on that card that was like, he could kick your ass, but he can also like lose like a jobber match. And that's kind of what you saw with, him and Crash. I honestly thought Crash could have been booked a little better, but, based on his accolades and his accomplishments, he didn't really have too much of a bad, career from a WWF, WWE superstar. It wasn't all that bad. Of course, I'm comparing it to like other superstars that, who never really had a chance to hold the hardcore championship that long, like Crash Holly kind of did. You know what I mean? With his kayfabe cousin, Hardcore Holly, they were former WWF tag team champions. The stable expanded in 2000 with the addition of Molly Holly. Loved Molly Holly. He was a WWF Hardcore championship winner 22 times. Something that was pretty awesome is that he was kind of brought up with that 24/7 kind of hardcore championship, kind of like what you saw with WWE when they tried to recreate it, which was kind of dumb. But obviously, our truth was the kind of like the Crash Holly. Our truth was kind of like the Crash Holly of the WWE 24/7 championship with people like I think even like everybody won that championship, but Crash Holly would always kind of like vividly kind of win it back. I remember watching when he paid the APA to kind of babysit him, be like, "Hey man, all I want is some sleep." And then like they got the referee in here. I think it was Bradshaw who made the cover. Like it was like, and he was like, and then he won the championship and Crash was still sleeping. It was just so crazy. It was just that obviously, that's Attitude Era esque. The beginning of the venturing into the WWE Ruthless Aggression era, but it was entertaining as hell. It was very entertaining. You can always count on Crash Holly being on your TV screen with that cheesy ass smile on his face. I loved Crash Holly. Honestly, when I found out, when he passed away, I was, I kind of thought to myself, I was like, damn, that's, of course, when anybody passes away, especially like someone that you kind of watch growing up, and you were kind of like, dude, that's crazy. That kind of sucks. Yeah, the Crash Holly or Michael Lockwood, he joined the NWA Total Nonstop Action where he was Mad Mikey. He also won the European Championship and the Light Heavyweight Championship. He's from San Francisco, San Francisco, California. He started gaining interest in wrestling since the 8th grade. He was inspired by Brady Boone. He worked at Safeway, which was a grocery store that I kind of visited a lot, especially with I had aunts and uncles that kind of had Safeways around them. So I was like, oh, that's kind of crazy. Kind of like if you don't know what a Safeway is, it's kind of like a grocery store. It's kind of like an Albertsons or like a Ralph's or like a Rady's or a Rayleigh's or whatever. So definitely that's kind of cool. That's something that people don't really think about in terms of the professional wrestling industry. They just think I'm going to be a wrestler. I'm going to make millions of money, dude. It's not that easy. You got to join a lot of independent wrestling circuits. You have to have a part-time job while you're kind of wrestling, so you can't get too effed up in the ring because you might have a broken ACL or you might tear something to the point where you cannot work for a job that actually pays you like consistently. And also like also minor league baseball players. I think I read a stat that minor league baseball players, I think over 75% of them, like in a California league, living in Hemet, California, or near the Temecula area. I watched the Lake Elsinore Storm. It's a San Diego Padres kind of affiliate. But I think the players, they don't get paid that much to the point where it'd be like, I just want to focus on baseball. Like, you know what I mean? So these athletes, they pay their dues. They definitely pay their dues 1,010%. So, definitely love that. He will, like I said, he worked at Safeway as a part-time wrestler in the independent circuit. His wrestling career, he was Johnny Pearson on Bay Area wrestling in San Francisco. He was Irish Aaron O'Grady. He was Super Diablo in Lucha Libre. He was the Leprechaun Aaron O'Grady for the All Professional Wrestling. He wrestled in ECW. He tried out for the WWF in January 20th, 1998, where he made it. He was in the WWF's Lucha Libre show, kind of like their Spectre right there, and he was known as the Green Ghost, kind of the play on the word of the Gringo or whatever. He used to carry around a scale like you see him right there. He was 400 pounds, 400 pounds of absolute dominance. Crash Holly was. So before every single match, this guy would, he would weigh himself. He'd be like, weighing in at 400 pounds, Crash Holly. So then, obviously that's where the scale kind of came in. I remember playing WWF No Mercy, and I know a lot of you guys probably haven't played it. It's on the Nintendo 64. You kind of see him coming out with the scale with Hardcore Holly, and it was, even not playing it nowadays. I haven't played it for like years. Honestly, I don't really play video games anymore. The more and more, the more and more you become a dad, the more and more you say bye to video games. Oh, those were the good old days. I'm just kidding. No, but no, it was kind of crazy. It was kind of crazy. It was kind of cool. It was like that, that little thing that made Crash Holly just be so absolutely badass. This guy from the ECW. Dynamite does come in small packages. He was, formed as the Leprechaun for like basically half of his career. So, gotta respect that. You gotta respect that. During his tenure with Hardcore Holly, he defeated great teams like the New Age Outlaws, APA, Edge and Christian, the Hardy Boys, the Rock and Sock Connection, and also Rikishi and Too Cool. So, definitely a lot of people probably don't really know who Crash Holly is. And obviously, he passed away November 6th of 2003. Due to I think I don't know I read it on Wikipedia, but I don't really feel like I don't know. It's always kind of crazy in terms of looking how some of these wrestlers passed. If you know it, you know it. If not, look it up on Wikipedia how Crash Holly passed away. Definitely kind of sucks. Definitely something that kind of needs a little more attention in terms of just in the world. It's kind of crazy how a lot of the world they don't really recognize the severity of negative emotional feelings kind of happening within the brain circuit. So it's kind of crazy, but love Crash Holly. Crash Holly has forever, cemented his legacy within WWE. He was honored in ECW, and there's no doubt in my mind he's going to be honored in WWE. Well, they should probably honor him, sooner rather than later, in my opinion. So, guys, honestly, that's it. Hope you guys liked my show. Hope I didn't keep you guys too much. Remember, you have Emran's soccer podcast that's happening at 9:30 in approximately 11 minutes. No, 21 minutes. Scratch that. So yeah, thank you for tuning in to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Your support means a lot to us, so please remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Also follow the network, follow the show. It really does make a difference here, guys. Here at the GSMC Sports Network, we do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity, baby. We also invite you guys to follow us on Twitter/X, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram for more content and updates. If I haven't made you a wrestling fan by now, remember we have sports shows besides wrestling. We have sports shows with Jeremy Lapidus, also TJ. We also have baseball with Sam. We have basketball with my boy Nelson, fantasy sports with Chris. We have Samantha, your one-stop shop for women's sports, MMA, Olympics, the WNBA with Samantha. We have the Andrew Tate Show as well. We have Kenneth on football, Manny with the Chip Shot football podcast. So, we have Tommy, my boy, with the college football podcast. Football's right around the corner. So the best way to kind of keep tabs on everything that's happening over the offseason, you want to hit up those podcasts. You want to hit up those podcasts, not for just entertainment purposes. Obviously, that's number one. But most importantly, second of all, just you need to know this stuff if you're a huge football fan. Maybe you're a part of a draft, maybe a fantasy draft, or maybe you're, maybe this is something that you're highly invested in. College sports in general, in my opinion, I feel like do get kind of a little overlooked. College baseball, women's college softball and stuff like that. So, if you're a new day wrestling fan, go ahead and check out Tommy's podcast. Maybe you're going to become a college football fan. Like, who all knows? Well, guys, that's it for me. Hope you guys had an amazing weekend. Hope you guys had a lot of fun. Hope you guys are safe. You're happy. I love you guys 1,010%. Thank you so much for making this show what it is. And have a good night. Sleep well. Don't let the bed bugs bite. I feel like I'm talking to my kids. I feel like I'm talking. No. But anyways, have a good night.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit.